Yo, Tonyo here. Welcome back to my channel, Tech with Tonyo. Sa mga subscribers ko dyan, I hope okay lang kayong lahat. Stay safe and sana mabakunahan na kayo as soon as possible. Sa mga hindi pa nagsasubscribe, mag-subscribe na kayo kasi konti na lang, malalagpasan na natin sila Linus Tech Tips, si JZ 2 cents sa subscribers, mga 14 million na lang. So, subscribe naman, subscribe. In today's video, pag-uusapan natin ang build guide and temperature review using this case, the Sgpc K55, and yung overall thoughts natin about the case. So, stick around guys. The case came with this long Phillips screwdriver pero kakailanganin niya ng isa pang Phillips screwdriver na may maliit na bit para sa maliit na screws. Step 1, make sure na i-install mo muna yung bracket for the PSU. And plan ahead kasi medyo limited yung space ng case. So, make sure na gagamitin nyo lang yung mga cables na kailangan. The PSU fan should be facing outside and the PSU bracket should be installed like so. Take note mga ka-tech noobs, ang compatible na PSU for this case is only SFX PSU. Bawal ang ATX PSU or SFXL PSU. Make sure na maipasok yung screw stand-off sa case, sa bracket to align it properly. Step 2, i-install naman natin ang motherboard I/O backplate. It should be upside down since the motherboard will be upside down as well. Next is the SSD. This is optional mga ka-tech noobs. Kung meron kayo nito, this is how you should install it. The SSD port should be facing the motherboard area and kailangan nyo ng maliit na Phillips screwdriver to install the SSD. Also, kinailangan kong tanggalin yung isa sa mga case feed to gain access to one of the SSD screw holes. And then for the next one, let's move on to the installation of the GPU riser card or riser cable. Let me also stress something really important about this riser cable mga ka-tech noobs. So, in the market, iba-iba ang uri ng riser cable, iba-iba ng length at ng orientation or yung angle ng connector. So, this one in particular, meron siyang double reverse or in essence, yung connectors niya are facing inward or facing each other as you can see in the video. This one needs to be installed before the motherboard mga ka-tech noobs. Also, I have to remove the PCIe solder covers kasi hindi siya magkakasya dun sa top part ng motherboard area kung saan i-route natin or i-route natin yung riser cable at the back. Be mindful as well mga ka-tech noobs sa pag-install ng riser cable kasi dun sa top part kung saan natin i-route or i-route yung riser cable, medyo matalas yung aluminum niya. Doble ingat kasi baka magaskasan yung gold pins ng riser cable connectors. Okay, before I forget mga ka-tech noobs, yung length nga pala nitong riser cable na to is 185mm. So, make sure na you'll be getting that one if you will buy the riser cable separately. But most of the time, yung mga sellers online, they sell it as a bundle. So, with the case, kasama na siya. And then reinstall the PCIe solder covers for the PCIe riser cable. Okay, for the third step of our build guide mga ka-tech noobs, ang ating MOBO, make sure na pre-installed na lahat ng mga components like the RAMs, yung CPU heatsink at yung M.2 kung meron. Kasi medyo mahirap na ikabit yung mga yan once na nasa loob na ng case yung motherboard. Okay mga ka-tech noobs, please take note of this. Itong Phillips screwdriver na kasama ng case nung binili ko Hindi siya gano'n ka-magnetic. So, nakailang tries ako bago ko ikabit ng maayos yung motherboard. So, if meron kayo na mas maayos na Phillips screwdriver, yun na lang yung gamitin nyo kaysa dito. Okay, after natin maikabit yung other end ng GPU riser card sa MOBO, this is the time na kailangan na nating i-screw in place yung buong GPU riser cable. Okay, after that, ikakabit na natin ang SATA cable sa SSD to the motherboard. And then, dito na natin masusubukan ang ating cable management skills. It also comes with some zip ties mga ka-technoob, so wag mahiyang gamitin yon to secure the cables in place. Fourth step, kakabit na natin ang ating PSU. As you can see, I already prepped the cables that will be used for this build. And nakikita nyo may mga zip ties akong ginamit. So again, huwag kayo mahiyang gamitin yung zip ties. For me, itong pag-install ng PSU ang pinakamahirap na part ng build. Kasi this PSU that I'm using right now, yung cables niya masyadong mahaba and stiff, so mahirap siyang i-bend. I would highly recommend to use modded cables, yung malambot yung cable sleeves, and then tailor-fitted yung length ng cables for this particular type of case. Siya nga pala guys, unfortunately, I have to mod one of the SATA cables kasi hindi siya mag-fit doon sa SATA SSD underneath the PSU kasi masyadong maliit yung clearance. So what I did exactly is pinutol ko yung excess connectors sa isang power cable na ang dulo ay isang 4-pin connector. Kasi dapat flat yung SATA power connector or else hindi siya mag-fit doon sa SATA SSD kasi masikip yung clearance niya sa case. I would not recommend this because this will definitely void your warranty if meron, and this is dangerous. Pero kung wala kayong choice and YOLO kayo, research more about it and proceed with caution. So remember mga ka-tech noobs, zip tie is your friend. So gamitin nyo siya to tidy up your cables. Okay mga ka-tech noobs, ang panglimang step sa build, ang huling hardware component to be installed in this case, ang GPU. Okay, before installing the GPU mga ka-tech noobs, make sure na ibaba nyo muna yung release latch ng GPU riser cable and ikabit nyo muna yung power cable for the GPU before installing the whole thing kasi masikip nga doon sa case. And then secure it to its place using these screws. Now you may be wondering why I'll be using these MOBO standoffs for this build kasi nga yung graphics card ko, unfortunately it has a 2.5 slot height, so nalagpasan niya yung 2 slot limit for this case. So to make sure that the panels will be installed, I have to elevate the screw holes by using these motherboard standoffs. Okay mga ka-tech noobs, to learn more about the clearance, height, and length limit of this K55 ITX case, may video ako about this. So I will leave a link in the description below. You guys can check it out. On the MOBO and PSU side, mga ka-tech noobs, you don't actually have to use this MOBO standoffs. Ginamit ko lang siya to aesthetically balance it out. Just to add, make sure na naka-on yung switch ng PSU before installing the acrylic side panels. After this one, pwede na natin ikabit yung PSU cable, peripherals, at USB dongles. And that's the end of our TechNoob Sgpc K55 build guide. Now, i-check naman natin kung magbo-boot ang ating binuong PC. Now let's move on with our system unit temperature test. We will begin with the GPU stress test using Formark. Ang mga impormasyon about sa ating testing methodology ay nasa screen. Just kindly check it out mga ka-technoob. For my GPU, I'm using a very old card, a Poly Jetstream GTX 960 2GB version. It requires a single 6-pin power connector and it has a TDP of 120 watts. We jump into the 4 minute and 20 seconds mark of the GPU stress test, and here's our temperature results. A brief history nga pala mga ka-technoobs about sa thermal paste na ginamit ko. Previously, I was using MX4 2020 edition by Arctic. Now I am using Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut, and it was a really good decision. Again, temperature results may still vary depending sa GPU na gamit mo, sa fan settings, thermal paste, at sa ambient temperature ng room. Now for our CPU stress test, gagamit tayo ng ADA64 Extreme, and ang ating CPU is an i5 9400F. This is a 6-core 6-threads processor. And here on the screen is our CPU idle temps. Our testing methodology on this one is on the screen. Once again, temperature results may still vary depending sa CPU, thermal paste, CPU heatsink, at ambient temp ng room. At ito naman ang CPU cooler at thermal paste na aking gamit. We jump into the 5 minutes and 5 seconds mark of the stress test, and here's our temperature results. Okay, let's start with the pros and the cons, mga ka-technoobs. Unahin natin yung cons. Isa lang naman, and this may not be a big deal or a deal breaker to some, but some may find this as a problem. So, i-discuss natin. Sa height compatibility lang naman, as was discussed earlier, it can accommodate most full-length cards, not all, most lang. So, however, pagdating sa height, medyo for me, parang kinapos siya. I was hoping at least 2.5 or 3 slots height compatible siya. But this is on me kasi hindi ko na-check maigi about the height compatibility ng GPU on this case. And that's one of the important things to consider in getting an ITX case. And then for the pros, evidently yung pagiging minimalist niya, pagiging compact, okay, yung portability, okay, and pagiging malinis niya tingnan or clean look kasi as you can see, it's made of aluminum. Alright, premium quality yung build. Wala akong nakakitang mga integrity issues. To know more about the dimension, the length, the height, the width of this Sgpc K55 case, may video ako about this, and mag-iiwan ako ng link sa description below. Kung may mga katanungan kayo mga ka-technoobs or mga bagay na gusto i-clarify, huwag kayo mayang mag-comment sa comment section below. I'll do my best ASAP to reply all response. Final thoughts na tayo, no? So, kung ikaw ay magpapalak bumuo ng ITX PC using the Sgpc K55 case, or ikaw ay may rig na or PC na pero gusto mag-switch to an ITX build, then I can recommend this case in particular kasi number one, mas may range siya in terms of GPU compatibility. as long as the GPU length is not gonna be more than 300 millimeter, okay na okay siya. But be mindful about the height of the GPU kasi may limit lang siya na 2 slots height. So, plan ahead. Okay, check every dimension of your GPU before considering this case or any type of ITX case. Number 2, sa pricing, hindi ko masasabi na mura siya o mahal siya, but the Sgpc is somewhere in between. Number 3, for its availability, hindi ka mahihirapan mahanap to. Meron ding reseller locally and available siya mostly sa dalawang major online store dito sa Pinas. Alright, that's it mga ka-tech noobs. Sana nag-enjoy kayo sa video, sana tinapos nyo. And sa mga hindi pa nakaka-subscribe dyan, mag-subscribe na kayo. 14 million na lang, malalagpasan na natin si Linus at si Jay-Z in terms of subscribers. Anyway, shoutout din pala sa mga subscribers dyan and viewers dyan na nagtatanong, nagko-comment. Keep it going. Like I said, I'll try my best to answer it correctly as soon as possible. If nagustuhan nyo to this video right here, paki-like na rin, hit the notification bell icon para ma-notify kayo pag may bago. Kasi gagawa pa tayo ng maraming ganito. And paki-share na din sa mga tropa nyo na interesado. And sana nasa mabuti kayong kalagayan dyan. Once again, it's your boy Tonyo of TechTube Tonyo. Peace out.